The last step of airline training is something called IOE, or Initial Operating Experience. It'll be your first time flying the actual jet, and each flight is an actual revenue flight with passengers on board. You'll be paired with a highly experienced training captain that has years of experience in the airplane to teach you the daily ins and outs of your airline's operations. As a first officer at Envoy, I was required to complete at least 25 hours of IOE flying, and for me that was broken down into 2 trips, the first of which was a 3-day trip out of Miami, going to Pensacola, Cincinnati, Columbus, New York, and even Exuma in the Bahamas. The second trip was 4 days long and began in New York, going to Indianapolis, Greensboro, Chicago, Champaign, Dallas, Fort Smith, and Montgomery, Alabama. In all, I covered about 8,400 miles during my IOE experience and touched all 4 of our major hubs, Dallas, New York, Chicago, and Miami. That's pretty unusual to do during IOE, but it allowed me to get a really good sense for the Envoy network as a whole. There's a lot that you simply can't train for just in classrooms or simulators, and that's what IOE is all about. Taking your knowledge of the policies and procedures and showing you how to use them on real line flights with passengers on board. You're paired with highly experienced training captains that have years of experience flying these aircraft to show you the ins and outs of daily operations. I can't say enough good things about my IOE experience. I had 2 awesome training captains during my 2 trips, and I learned a lot during just a few short days.
Over 73, no departures. You can bring it direct to the numbers if you like. Airline 31, wind 290 at 12.
Airline 31, direct numbers Envoy 3073.
The absolute best part of IOE was finally flying the Embraer 140 and 145 for the very first time. Before I came here to Envoy, I didn't think I would be hand flying the jet that much and I would be flying mainly with the autopilot on, but I was surprised to find during IOE that I was really encouraged to fly by hand as much as I wanted. In fact, from one flight from Chicago to Champaign, Illinois, I flew the entire flight by hand, didn't engage the autopilot once. That's something that I never expected to do at a regional airline flying jets, and it really was a lot of fun. I think the hardest part about IOE for me was getting used to the Unilink functions of our FMS. It's a system that allows us to send, receive, and print messages right here in the cockpit, and we use it extensively on day-to-day operations for things like printing ATIS reports or even getting an IFR clearance from air traffic control. It's not something that we extensively train in the simulator, but it really applies here to our daily operations. Getting used to all of those functions was a lot during the first few days, but after a few flights, it was pretty easy to get used to. The last step of IOE is a line check, which is just a normal flight from A to B, where you're paired with a line check airman who examines your performance to make sure that you're ready to be released to crew scheduling as a fully qualified line pilot. You're not expected to be perfect during the line check, but it's their way to make sure that you're ready to fly with non-training captains for the first time. That's really it. IOE is your opportunity to learn as much as you can about line flying from highly experienced training captains during just a few short days. What felt completely overwhelming on day one will turn into a normal routine after a few days of flying on the line. And now that I'm completely done with IOE, I've been released to crew scheduling as a normal line pilot, and I'll begin reserve in a few days.